Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Tuesday, the 9th of April, 2024. The time 6:20 p.m. Central Time, and tomorrow's the huge day. All right, we get a lot of information tomorrow, so let's talk about it. Starts off at 6 in the morning with the Mortgage Bankers Association for the Consumer Price Index. That's going to come out at 7:30 a.m. The forecast is to be up 0.3% month over month. Then the core CPI expected to be up the same numbers. CPI in an annualized term up 3.4%. So now you have your parameters. Lower than that, well, comes in lower. Why wouldn't the Fed consider maybe inflation is going in the right way and traders will start talking sooner rather than later? They get the cuts. Come in higher than that, the exact opposite. You get wholesale inventories and sales data at 9. You get a couple of Richmond Fed people talking. You got Richmond Fed Barkin and Chicago Fed Goolsbee. So if they answer any questions tomorrow when they speak, and they're speaking at the Social Finance Institute event in the morning at 11:30, I'll write about it if I can. The minutes of the FOMC come out at 1 o'clock, and then the Treasury is going to release the outlays and recipients data, and that comes out at 1:30. And remember, we do get the EIA numbers on energy, and they'll come out at 9:30. I don't know why I didn't put that in there, but I know that they come out too. So that's quite a bit of data that we have going on. Everything's going to be predicated on tomorrow's CPI number. And why is that? Well, the market seems to be enamored with the idea of interest rates, but I don't know that they matter. The economy is just so strong, does it really matter at this point? And I'm not convinced it does. What the economy is doing, literally, is just staying and firing on all cylinders. What everyone's looking for is when it doesn't fire. You won't be able to get out of the stock market easily if that's the case on the first break. But there's so much money on the sidelines, how far down can you go? Because people will want to support the market and come into it on the breaks. In the metal markets, you're on fire. I mean, how high could it go? Well, if you believe in price counts, you could go to 2,700 on this rally. You heard me, 2,700. I mentioned the other day over 30 in the silver market. Copper's already up to the 430s. The dollar's stable. And currencies are going to play a mixed game tomorrow as everybody's trying to figure out what takes place. And then you get in line for Thursday's meeting from the European Central Bank, where I think they're going to prep you for the bank going to say that come June, they're ready to cut rates if the data stays as it is. And there's the big play. Can the euro go down to parity with the US dollar will be a question that we ask. That's something you got to think about. I wasn't pleased with the action today in the energies. When you get to the financial update that I'll do after this, you will see why. When we look at the gold market, it's up another 0.75 percentage point at this point, up another $17 for the week. For the daily charts, still moving right along. The pattern has been and continues to be higher lows and higher highs, as you can see. You've got that right through here, and you're over the 18, the 200, and the 100 in green and the 200 in gray. And notice, right here, they all came together, and that's when things just started moving away. And the classic bullish setup, the shorter term average, the 18 over the longer term 100 over the 200. Just classic like that. So what number are they fighting at on the way up? The Bollinger Band. This is called a gorilla glue trade. And a gorilla glue trade takes place when the market latches onto Bollinger Bands up and down sides and just keeps driving along it, and what it often causes is an embedded reading to take place. Sometimes it only takes a few of these days instead of these many, but it took this many. And what it says is that, yes, the market's overbought. Yes, the market might be ahead of itself, but no. On breaks, there's so many people caught under this market that want in. It probably gets good support on the breaks. It doesn't just go back to these low levels. And that'll be something that I expect is going to be the case in the market. When you look at the gold-silver ratio, you keep falling, which means silver is getting stronger than gold on the way up. You used to need almost, 91 ounces of silver here to get 1 ounce of gold. you're down to 82.9 now. And you're gonna say, well, that's not so much. It is 9 ounces. And out of that, it's a 10% move in the way that silver is stronger than gold. Yes, it got that much stronger. And in the silver, you can see how you're hugging that number too. So the breaks in this market, just like in the gold, I think everything's gonna be well supported. In the copper market, well, I'm gonna repeat. It seems to me a race to the bottom. Who can cut interest rates to spur on economy? I do think the European Central Bank will be ahead of the Fed. They start using more copper. China's using more copper. China's throwing everything it can at the marketplace in order to spur on its economy. The area they're having the greatest trouble with, and we all know it, is their housing, their shelter market. In the platinum market, you're being pulled here over that upper Bollinger Band. Be a little careful. This market could easily pull back. It's not been a leader, it's been the draggard, if you will, on the market. And the dollar, I was looking for a correction. It makes all the sense in the world to go into the CPI in a more neutral status. The trend is down, the bias is up tonight. The market went back to the 18-day average after it lost its bullish embedded reading, and it held. That's super important. Tomorrow is going to be a key day. Friday will be the aftermath with PPI, but tomorrow's going to be all about CPI. I'll probably do a special report on it for traders, by the way, as well. Now, first thing I'm going to cover in the morning, though, is going through the market at 5 in the morning for the traders. Then if I see something special, we'll see what I want to do with that. I'll certainly cover all this in my morning updates at 11:30 when I write about what I think, where we're at, and tomorrow night I'll do my best to cover. I cover all these markets in the morning with specific buy here, sell there, do this, do that. Not every trade works. Not every trade doesn't work, okay? There's a balance to it. But what I try to do is keep the risks tight, profits, let them run. It's been an interesting time going into the CPI report. Now we see what happens. If you'd like to join me in the morning, it's simple. Just go to iraepstein.com. Under the word research, or move your cursor up here, it'll take you right to that area on the website and sign up for it there. I'm Ira. You have yourself a good evening. I'll catch up with you all tomorrow.